Don't forget to like, subscribe and share the videos.
Kodaikanal Solar Observatory. Why is Kodaikanal Solar Observatory in news? And what are all the significance of this observatory? When was it established? And what are all the works that it is doing? All these things we need to know. Let us get into the details. Kodaikanal Solar Observatory. So this year 2024 marks 125th year of this solar observatory's establishment. That is the reason why it is in news. And it is owned and operated by Indian Institute of Astrophysics. Such statements are very important from exam point of view, that this solar observatory is owned and operated by Indian Institute of Astrophysics, and this is how the observatory looks like. What else do we have to understand? What was the need for such an observatory? An observatory is there, but what was the need for the establishment of such an observatory? Okay, so we need to get back to the history here. So the great drought of 1875 and 77, this was an important event which led to the establishment of this solar observatory. So this event, which was caused by low rainfall, highlighted the need for thorough solar studies. So since there was a drought, great drought, there was a need for thorough solar studies to understand its effects on the weather pattern. Okay, so solar studies effect on weather pattern was to be understood to get rid of such situations like great drought of 1875. Okay, so that was the background here. Moreover, India's drought was part of a broader global issue impacting multiple countries and resulting in widespread famine. So India's drought is not only contained within the Indian landmass, it is also affecting other areas. So this year shows the geographical significance of India here. Okay, so these are the two factors which led to the formation of the observatory. Okay, the background here. Now let us get into the details of the origin of this observatory or the establishment. So the concept of an Indian solar observatory began in late 19th century, and the government approved the establishment of Solar Physics Observatory in Kodaikanal in August 1893 itself. Okay, so in August 1893 itself, approval for establishment was got, and later Lord Wenlock, who was the then Governor of Madras, led the foundation stone of this Kodaikanal Solar Observatory in 1985, and systematic observations in this observatory commenced on March 14, 1901. So from this date only we are calculating 125 years now. Okay, so that is what we need to know. Moreover, Government of India separated this astrophysics department from the Indian Meteorological Department in April 1971, and later this Kodaikanal Solar Observatory was brought under the Indian Institute of Astrophysics, which was separately established in Bengaluru on April 1st, 1971. So what do we have to understand? Earlier, this solar observatory was part of Indian Meteorological Department, but later astrophysics was created as a separate institute. Okay, so Indian Institute of Astrophysics, which was established in Bengaluru. After that, this solar observatory had become a part of, or it is being operated by, this institute. Okay, so this is what we need to know. Moreover, why Kodaikanal? They have chosen Kodaikanal to establish this observatory, but why was Kodaikanal chosen? There are multiple other locations, but why have they chosen Kodaikanal? That we need to know. So Kodaikanal in Palani Hills of Tamil Nadu was picked for the observatory because of its good atmospheric conditions. So this is what is very important. So it is just because of its good atmospheric condition, Kodaikanal was chosen based on the surveys conducted by Charles Mickey Smith, who was a professor of physics at Madras Christian College, and the other hills were also considered, like hills of Leh, Mussoorie, Simla, but they were all rejected for being dusty and cloudy, and the atmosphere around them was being unstable. That is the reason why they were rejected, and Kodaikanal was selected. So the primary reason is good atmospheric condition. Okay. Next is, what are all the instruments that are housed inside that observatory? So initially this observatory had telescopes, especially the Bhavnagar telescope. It was named after the Raja of Bhavnagar, and this telescope was there to study sunspots, prominences and solar radiation. We'll understand what prominences in the upcoming slide. Moreover, now this observatory has other advanced instruments like H-alpha telescope and white light active region monitor WARM, which are there for high resolution solar imaging. Okay, so this is what we need to know here. Now let us understand the concept of prominence and let us get into the details of the achievement of this observatory over this 125 years. So what is solar prominence? Solar prominence is nothing but a large bright feature which is extending outward from the solar surface or the sun surface. Sun surface is here and these are the large and bright features that extend outward. These are called as solar prominences, and prominences are anchored to the sun surface in the photosphere and extend outward into the hot atmosphere which is called as corona. So from photosphere it is moving outward towards the corona. This is called as prominences. All these prominences were observed by that solar observatory in Kodaikanal Solar Observatory. Okay. Now let us understand the achievements of this solar observatory. This observatory played a crucial role in solar physics, such as identifying radial motion of sunspots. So here we need to know what is sunspots. There is radial motion of sunspots. Okay, that was initially or for the first time observed by Kodaikanal Solar Observatory, and that effect is known as Evershed effect because it was found by a scientist known as John Evershed. Okay, so Evershed effect. What is Evershed effect? Radial motion of sunspot is known as Evershed effect. And here we need to know what are sunspots. Sunspots are actually phenomenon on the sun's photosphere again that appear as a temporary spots that are darker than the surrounding area. So if you see here, these are the temporary darker spots which looks darker than the surrounding areas. Those are called as sunspots. Okay, so why do sunspots occur? That also is important. So they are the regions of reduced surface temperature which is caused by concentrations of magnetic flux that inhibit convection. So there is concentration of magnetic flux which is stopping this convection happening. Convection is movement. Okay, so up and down movement is hindered by concentration of magnetic flux. That is the reason such solar fluxes or sunspots are happening. Okay, so they are the regions of reduced temperature. So when we compare the temperature of this region with this darker region, the darker region's temperature will be lesser. Okay, so that is also important to be noted. And Evershed effect. What is Evershed effect? Radial motion of the sunspots is known as Evershed effect, and this was first observed by Kodaikanal Solar Observatory. What else are the achievements of this observatory? That this has been imaging sun for over a century now, and it has a rich repository of data. This is very important. It has a huge collection of data about sun. Okay, many information is stored. Next is, due to its location in the Palani Hills of southern India, this observatory plays a central role in observing changes to the equatorial electrojet. So at the equatorial regions, electrojet are being observed here. So what is electrojet? It is an electric current which travels in the Earth's ionosphere. There are different spheres of the atmosphere. In that, the ionosphere, electric current travels, and that is being observed by this. That is called as equatorial electrojet. Okay. Moreover, this COSO, that is Kodaikanal Solar Observatory, broadened its research scope to encompass cosmic ray, radio astronomy, ionospheric physics and stellar physics. So initially it was started as studying solar physics only, but later its area has been broadened. Okay, so it includes cosmic ray studies, radio astronomy, ionospheric physics, and even stellar physics. Okay, so this is what we need to understand from this particular topic, that is solar observatory, Kodaikanal solar